I am looking at my community garden right now, have on my trusty hat, very important. Baby girl's fussing in the back, so I'm going to put her in the stroller and then we're going to water and I'll give you a little tour. Okay, so for those of you that wonder if you can do this with limited space, you can. I definitely have used my plot to not even its fullest capacity, and I get tons of flowers all the time. I cut so many of these about 2 nights ago, and already I have an amazing flush of blooms. So I'm just going to go through these with you and show you what I have got. So my zinnias were a little bit slow to start this year, but I have so many beautiful colors now. This is the Fiesta mix. These are all from Flore Flowers, so I will link that, but this is the Fiesta mix. They're just a beautiful, bright collection of flowers. This is a new one for me this year. It's called Senora. Let me see if I can find another one. I kind of all mixed these together because I wanted, I don't know, I like seeing all the colors mixed as opposed to just rows of one color. So this is the Senora. This is called the creamy yellow, I think Isabellini or Isabellina. And then these are the Oklahoma pinks. They're a little bit smaller. Here's another Fiesta. You can hear my baby talking in the background. So I have quite a few of these. I didn't have long stems at first, but now my stems are starting to get super long. Like here's a really long stem. Awesome. That's going to be great for bouquets. Yeah, and at first I just did deadheading essentially, cut very short little stems so that the other ones could start reaching, and I'd get really long stems for bouquets. So there is the zinnias. All right, next I have these. This is a kind of a spray of flowers. It's called Tick Seed. It's the first time I've ever grown it, and I think I really like it. It looks really nice mixed in bouquets. They have these really pretty lemonade colored blooms with this dark red center, and yeah, I mean when I've cut it so far, it's like some of them are blooming, some of them are partially blooming, others are just, you know, not even opening yet, but they look really pretty mixed in bouquets. They were not too slow to start, but one of them kind of took off at once, and then the rest have been pretty short here. So I don't know, they're just interesting, and they kind of spread on the ground first. Like here's one that I started later, spread on the ground first, and then just they shoot up. So definitely more of like a wildflower. Okay, and this is the straw flower. It's definitely a favorite of mine to grow. It has these rough petals, and they come in a wide array of colors, and they just look really amazing in bouquets, and they also are fabulous for dried flower projects. These are just starting to open up. Some of my other plants have buds, but this is my first plant to have buds, and I'm super excited to start incorporating these into bouquets. This is the second time I've grown these. They grow on these stalks, and they're really good for, or they take well to pinching. So that means just taking out the center bud when you see the first one, and then the energy is sent down to dormant flowers, and you'll get much more bushy plants that give you a lot more blooms. So, well, I went off. So really excited about these. This is a, I think, I forget the color mix, but kind of a bronzy color mix. And they're just super pretty. I think next year I'm gonna do this colorway and also some like silvery pink ones as well. These are the Cosmos. They just don't ever stop. They're amazing. Oh, hi friend. So this is a seashell style. They have these amazing tubular petals. This is a double click. These are so healthy this year. It makes me so happy. And yeah, the more I cut, the more they come back. Here's a beautiful spray of some smaller, like light pink, white ones. Yeah, they are not slowing down. My stems are starting to get very, very long, and that's just because I keep cutting. So yeah, they're in my bouquets all summer. Love these guys so much. They're very easy to start, so this is a great beginner flower. Right, these are the happiest flowers. This is Rudbeckia or Black-Eyed Susan. This one has some funky petal action. But these are a good cut flower for Black-Eyed Susan. I started them in winter sowing, which is a method I can go into another time. But they have really nice long stems. These are also Rudbeckia, and I got these at a plant sale. They're not a cut flower I don't know, type, I guess. I mean, these ones are getting pretty tall, and I'm wondering if I keep going with these, if their stems would lengthen too, but they just make me really happy. So keeping them in here. I might move them to my new house and put them as a potted plant, but they're so happy in the ground here. And yeah, they're just so sunshiny, and I love looking at them. So anyway, this is Bee Balm. This is a first time plant for me as well. I'm loving it though, and it seems to be very popular with people too. They just kind of come out with a flower upon a flower upon a flower. They're very pretty, and they're not slowing down either. They've been a really great producer for me, and they look beautiful mixed into bouquets, and I'm just, yeah, really loving them. These are definitely ready to be picked. I think I've let them go a little bit too long, so I need to get out here and get these Bee Balm picked so that I can put them into some bouquets. So now I'm going to show you guys some things that haven't quite gone off yet, but this is a China Aster. It's called, I believe, Chamois. It's going to be a pink color. It has not started opening yet, but it's so exciting for me to see these because I don't know, they were a little bit more difficult to get started, and they're kind of slower going. Mine are actually a little bit compromised, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I think it might be an overwatering problem, but I've got some issue with leaves, so I'm just kind of picking these off as I see them, just trying to keep them nice and healthy. But there is the flower, and I cannot wait to put these into bouquets. What else do I have going on? Let's see, over here is some phlox. This is something that I started a little later too. This is not a perennial. I still get perennial and annual mixed up. It's okay, little girl. So these are going to come up this summer, and they're just a little bit slower going, so I hope that I do actually see them this summer. But that kind of looks like there's a flower coming up, and these also benefit from pinching, which is probably why they're a little bit slower. You can see that I cut off the center bud here, so they're just starting up a little bit slower. And then over here I've got some very stocky looking little dahlia plants. I did have to move these when I moved, and so far the transplanting has been okay, but I'm still not sure if I'm even gonna see flowers this year. So we'll see, but at least the tubers down there are alive, and hopefully I get some beautiful dahlias towards the end of summer or early fall. We shall see. And then over here, this is actually basil, but it's an ornamental basil, so also hoping that these get bigger and that I can incorporate these into bouquets by the end of the summer too. So really, I just weed when I can, where I can, and as often as possible. And not everything is perfect all the time, but it is my own project and I love it. And I try to just keep weeds at bay next to the plants, like at the root of the plant as much as possible, and kind of worry about other areas as it gets out of control. But yeah, I do this by myself, so I have to give myself some grace and take my time with it. Also, I come, like I said, with my baby every time, and she doesn't always have patience. So I just, yeah, kind of go with what she can do and what I can manage. All right, so there you have it. This is my July garden, and I've got stuff that is kind of staggered and gonna come up soon, or stuff that is just going strong, and it has been a wonderful season for me so far.